They say you either fall in love with it or you find it deeply unsettling. A tiny creature with wide, empty eyes and a jagged, toothy grin has captured the hearts and puzzled the minds of collectors around the world. But what if I told you no one truly knows where it came from? This is Labubu, one of the most sought-after designer toys of the last decade. It sells out in minutes. Some editions have been resold for thousands of dollars, and hidden inside its playful appearance are details that hint at something much darker. Stay with me, because by the end of this story, you'll hear the most chilling theory of all. Labubu was created by Hong Kong-based artist Kasing Lung. If you've never heard his name before, that might be exactly how he wants it. Kasing Lung rarely appears in the media. He's known among collectors as a quiet, mysterious figure, a man who seems to prefer letting his characters speak for themselves. And yet, his creations, especially Labubu, have traveled far beyond the art world into pop culture, fashion, and even the world of high-end collectibles. Lung was born in Hong Kong, but spent part of his life in Belgium. It's there, surrounded by the mix of European fairy tales and Asian cultural roots, that his style began to take shape. He's often described as a storyteller in shapes and colors. But those who know his work best will tell you his stories often carry shadows. The worlds he paints and sculpts are never entirely cheerful. They have a way of making you wonder if something is hiding just out of view. Labubu is perhaps his most famous creation. At first glance, it's simple, a small figure with long, rabbit-like ears, a round head, and that signature toothy grin. It's colorful, cute, but there's something off. The grin is too sharp. The eyes are too wide. It's as if it's smiling at you and watching you at the same time. Lung has said in rare interviews that Labubu appeared to him in a dream. Not a nightmare exactly, but not a pleasant dream either. It was one of those vivid, strange moments that stayed with him long after he woke up. In his own words, "It was just there. I didn't design it step by step. It came all at once." He sketched it the next morning, and the sketch barely changed before becoming the figure we know today. Some artists tell you exactly what inspired their work: the books they read, the films they watched, the places they visited. Lung doesn't. He prefers mystery. When asked if Labubu was based on a specific animal, a folktale, or even a person, he simply smiles and changes the subject. This has only fueled speculation among fans. Some say it's inspired by European goblin myths. Others point to its sharp teeth and wide eyes as a reference to Japanese yokai, mischievous or malevolent spirits. And a few believe it's entirely personal, a private symbol known only to Lung himself. Whatever the truth, Labubu's rise from a sketch in a dream to a global icon didn't happen overnight. That journey began when Lung partnered with Pop Mart, a Beijing-based company that has turned designer toys into a booming industry. Pop Mart specializes in blind box collectibles, small, sealed packages where you don't know exactly which figure you'll get. It's a simple idea, but it taps into something powerful: the thrill of chance. And when the figure inside is as unusual and as sought after as Labubu, that thrill becomes an obsession. Pop Mart's approach to selling Labubu is unlike anything in the mainstream toy industry. Most companies announce their releases months in advance. They reveal every color variant, every special edition, and exactly when you can buy them. Pop Mart doesn't always play by those rules. While some Labubu series are heavily promoted, others appear without warning, quietly dropped into select stores, or made available online for just a few hours before disappearing. And then there are the secret editions. These aren't shown on the packaging, and they're not advertised anywhere. They exist only in whispers and rumors until someone opens a blind box and finds one. The odds are often as low as 1 in 100. Collectors call them ghost pulls, figures so rare that even longtime fans may never see one in person. When they do appear on the resale market, prices can climb into the thousands. One secret Labubu, released in 2019, sold for over $3,000 on an auction site just 2 days after it was discovered. Part of the appeal is the design itself. Each Labubu edition has a distinct personality, sometimes dressed in a costume, sometimes painted in soft pastels, sometimes in darker, more ominous tones. But no matter how it's dressed, that same unsettling grin is always there. Collectors often talk about the Labubu moment, the instant they realize they want to own one. For some, it's love at first sight. For others, it's the moment they see a rare edition in person and understand just how much detail goes into each piece. But there's another layer to the appeal: the hunt. Blind boxes mean you can't simply walk into a store and choose the figure you want. You have to try your luck or trade with other collectors. And that trading culture has created an entire underground network of Labubu enthusiasts, sharing rumors about upcoming releases, decoding patterns in shipment dates, and even speculating on hidden messages in Kasing Lung's art. Some of these theories are playful, others are strangely convincing. One popular belief is that the order in which characters are released hints at an overarching story, one that has yet to be told in full. Fans have noted recurring symbols in the background art of Pop Mart's promotional materials: moons, strange plants, and a recurring shape that some think is meant to be a door. A door to what exactly? No one knows. But that hasn't stopped people from building elaborate theories. Even without a confirmed storyline, Labubu has become more than just a toy. It's a status symbol in certain circles, a marker that you're in on a secret world. The design plays a big role in that. On the surface, Labubu is cute. Its proportions are similar to those of other popular collectibles: large head, small body, expressive face. But Kasing Lung adds details that disrupt that cuteness. The teeth, for example, are almost too sharp for comfort. They stretch from cheek to cheek in a grin that seems fixed, unchanging. The eyes are wide and round, but instead of sparkling highlights, they're often just flat pools of color. That combination creates what some call cute unease, a feeling that you're looking at something friendly, but also watching you back. In the world of designer toys, this style has a name: creepy cute. It's a delicate balance. Too much creepy, and you lose the charm. Too much cute, and you lose the tension. Labubu walks that line perfectly, and it's one reason the figure has such a devoted following. But where did that style come from? And why does it resonate so strongly with collectors all over the world? Some of the answers might lie in folklore. Folklore has a long history of creating creatures that live somewhere between friend and foe. In European traditions, there are goblins, imps, and sprites, small beings with mischievous personalities. They might help a farmer find lost livestock, or they might hide the tools and laugh while he searches for them. Their role in stories is often to test the hero, to trick them into learning something about themselves. Labubu's long ears and sharp teeth echo certain goblin depictions from old German and Belgian tales. In these stories, the ears often represent heightened senses, the ability to hear things others cannot. The teeth, meanwhile, are a symbol of cunning and survival. In Asian traditions, there's a similar figure in the form of the yokai, supernatural entities in Japanese folklore. Some yokai are benevolent, others are dangerous, and some are simply unpredictable, changing their behavior based on the mood of the moment. Labubu's wide, unblinking eyes resemble certain depictions of yokai known for watching humans silently, studying them before deciding what to do next. There are also Southeast Asian water spirits with similar grins, often described as luring people in with a friendly face before revealing their true nature. Whether or not Kasing Lung intended any of these references is unclear. When asked directly, he only says, "It's just Labubu." But even if these influences were subconscious, they help explain why the figure feels familiar to so many people, even if they've never seen it before. It taps into a shared cultural memory, the idea of the trickster, the playful danger, the creature you're not sure you can trust. This ambiguity is part of what keeps collectors hooked. They're not just buying a toy, they're buying a mystery. And in the age of the internet, mysteries take on a life of their own. Entire communities have sprung up online, dedicated to cataloging every Labubu release, photographing them from every angle, and sharing theories about what they mean. Some fans treat it like a puzzle. They look for patterns in the colors, the costumes, even the facial expressions. A few believe the figures are telling a hidden story, one chapter at a time, with each new release adding another clue. Others think the real story isn't in the toys themselves, but in the way they're released, the secret editions, the surprise drops, the sudden disappearances from store shelves. In this view, collecting Labubu is like participating in a living treasure hunt. You're never sure when or where the next piece will appear, and when it does, you have to move quickly to claim it. This kind of scarcity and unpredictability has made Labubu one of Pop Mart's most successful lines. But it's also given it a cultural weight far beyond that of most collectibles. For some, owning a rare Labubu is a badge of honor. For others, it's a connection to the art of Kasing Lung, a way to own a small piece of his dream world. And for a few, it's the thrill of holding something that still holds secrets. Because for all the theories, for all the photos and lists and fan pages, no one really knows the whole story. And maybe that's the point. Kasing Lung seems to understand that mystery is a powerful force. The less you say, the more people will imagine. The more people imagine, the more personal the story becomes to them. And when a story feels personal, it stays with you. When you look at the theories fans have built around Labubu, they range from the charming to the downright strange. One of the most common ideas is that Labubu is based on an imaginary friend from Kasing Lung's own childhood. According to this theory, the figure's mix of friendly and unsettling features reflects the way children sometimes imagine companions who protect them, but also frighten them just a little. Another theory says Labubu is a self-portrait, not in a literal physical sense, but as a representation of the artist's own personality. The long ears in this reading are the ears of someone who listens closely to the world. The grin is the grin of someone who knows more than they're letting on. And the wide eyes are the eyes of a dreamer, always searching for the next story. Then there's the hidden narrative theory. This is the idea that every character Kasing Lung creates, not just Labubu, but the others in his universe, is part of a larger, interconnected story. Supporters of this theory point to recurring motifs in his art: moons, stars, doors, certain plants, and mysterious objects that appear in the background from one series to another. They believe that if you could arrange all the pieces in the right order, you'd see the full story. So far, no one has done it, or if they have, they've chosen to keep it secret. Some collectors even claim there are coded messages hidden in the product packaging or promotional art. Numbers that don't seem to belong, letters arranged in unusual ways. Most of these findings are likely coincidence, but in a mystery, even a coincidence can feel like a clue. Beyond the theories, there's the undeniable reality of Labubu's impact on the collectible market. Pop Mart has built an empire on blind boxes, and Labubu is one of its crown jewels. In the secondary market, rare figures can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some collectors treat them like investments, keeping them in pristine condition in the hope that their value will rise. Others treat them as treasures to be displayed, sharing photos online in elaborate dioramas. There are even Labubu-themed events and conventions where fans trade figures, show off their rarest pieces, and meet others who share their passion. It's a global phenomenon, stretching from Asia to Europe to North America. And yet, through it all, Kasing Lung has kept the mystery alive. He hasn't released a definitive guide to his characters. He hasn't explained the meaning behind Labubu's grin or the source of its strange charm. Instead, he lets the fans build the story for themselves. That choice is part of what makes Labubu so enduring, because when you know every detail about something, it becomes ordinary. But when you're left with questions, it stays extraordinary. Labubu is a reminder that mystery is not just about what you don't know. It's about what you can imagine. It's about the space between the facts, where your own ideas take root. And maybe that's why, more than a decade after its creation, Labubu still feels fresh, still feels alive. It's not just a collectible, it's an invitation to wonder. And as long as Kasing Lung keeps that door closed, we'll keep peeking through the keyhole. What do you think Labubu represents? Do you believe it has a hidden story waiting to be told? Or is it simply what the artist says it is, just Labubu? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.